Akis.
Yeah, it's your boy Mike Smith, also known as Akis, also known as the coolest guy in sports, back with another overrated versus underrated. As requested in the comment box section, Mike Bibby. Was Mike Bibby overrated or underrated for his entire career? Mike Bibby averaged 14.7 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, 5.5 assists, shot 43.6 from the field, 37.9 from the three-point line, and 80.2% from the free throw line for his career. Was Mike Bibby overrated or underrated? And this is kind of hard because it's a lot of people that think Mike Bibby was better than what he really was. There's a bunch of people that think he was a elite point guard, and to be honest with you, Mike Bibby had a great, I'm gonna say great 4 year run with the '03 to '07 Sacramento Kings. But after that, he was really never that good anymore. He was, I guess you can call him, he was an elite point guard in his prime. I wouldn't necessarily say elite, I would say above average, but he was never a top 10 point guard in the league during his tenure in the NBA, or even with the Kings when he had those, was putting up those crazy stats. He was averaged like 21. His best season in the league was the 2005 2006 season where he averaged 21 points per game. So like I said, that 4 year run with the Sacramento Kings and those great Kings teams had people thinking that, you know what, that Mike Bibby was a elite point guard in the game. He was never an all-star. He was on a team with five above average players, if we're being completely honest. A team with a lot of ball movement, and kind of like they ran their offense through the high post with Chris Webber, and basically everybody on the team was a buck, and everybody on the team was really good. It was like the Atlanta Hawks team, which featured Al Horford, Paul Millsap, Kyle Culver, Jeff Teague. It was similar to that team, but they were in the Western Conference. And Mike Bibby, he doesn't make the prettiest plays, but he was very efficient during his time with the Kings and also in the NBA. He was one of the best shooting point guards in the league, and he had pretty decent court vision. He wasn't gonna break anybody's ankles with his speed because he didn't really need to. Hard to say he's kind of overrated because he never made any All Stars like I mentioned before, but hard to say he was underrated because people talk about him like he was a Steve Nash type of player, and he definitely wasn't. The best comparison I can make for Mike Bibby, if I was comparing him to a player in today's game, I would say he's was a Mike Conley type of player, but that's hard for me to say because Mike Conley to me is way better than Mike Bibby has ever been in his career in the NBA. So I would say he's more of a Gordon Dragic type of player. He can score when you needed him to. He was quick enough to get his shot off, but he wasn't great on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's the best comparison I can make for Mike Bibby. But it's a very interesting case because he was far too criticized for his play. When he played with the Kings, because like I said, even though he was a good shooter, some of his shot selection and settling for long mid-range twos wasn't ideal for the Sacramento Kings. But he also was a beast in the playoffs and probably was the most feared player in the playoffs on the Kings roster when it came to, especially the Lakers. The Lakers feared Mike Bibby, but saying that he was overrated, I think his prime was a little bit even overrated. I can't say, like I said, he was. It's hard to say he was overrated because he never made any All Star games. But this, like people that talk about his prime Mike Bibby, he had a 4 year stretch, and his prime was a little bit overrated because it's kind of like all those guys were really the same type of player, and they kind of had a great team and a great system around that entire team during those 4 years from '03 to '07. So finding ways to score on a Sacramento team will get you conversations about Prime Bibby being one of the best players in the league or best point guards in the league during his prime and all that nonsense, which really wasn't true. But you know how it goes. People are very ostentatious. They're trying to build they're trying to build up Mike Bibby to get him the attention that he deserves. But in reality, Mike Bibby was a above average point guard in the NBA. He wasn't he wasn't an all star. He wasn't a star. He wasn't a superstar. He was just a above average good player in the NBA. And to be honest, after he left Sacramento, he kind of disappeared and he kind of fell towards mediocrity towards the rest of his career. So if I had to say if Mike Bibby was overrated or underrated, I would lean more to the side of him being overrated than him being underrated. And like I said, it's hard for me to say that because he didn't make an All-Star game. And most times, players who don't make All-Star games are underrated. But it's been so much hype about, like, the Mike Bibbies and like the Jason Williams of the worlds. But in reality, Mike Bibby was an above average guard who didn't make the All Star game, and people have overrated him in his prime and pretended like he was during his prime. He was a top 5, top 10 point guard in the league, and that just wasn't the case. And if he was a top 10 point guard in his prime, he was number 10. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I'm gonna roll with Mike Bibby being overrated. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Do you think Mike Bibby was overrated or underrated? It's your boy Mike K. Smith, also known as Akis, also known as the coolest guy in sports. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on these videos. Also, get in the comment box and let me know what next video you want me to do, because as you see, I will do it. Also, join the movement, Akis Nation, guys. Please follow me on Twitter, Ahmad K. Smith. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. Once again, thank you guys for all your support. I'm gone, man. Peace.